Imagine waking up tomorrow to a news alert so explosive, so financially earth-shattering, that the value of a few forgotten bills tucked away in your drawer has just multiplied by thousands of percent, effectively rewriting your financial destiny in a single moment before you've even had your morning coffee. This is not a drill, and this is not another baseless rumor from the shadowy corners of the internet. This is the confirmed reality that is beginning to unfold as we speak, a financial revaluation that central banks and global economic powers have been secretly orchestrating for decades, and the official, verified numbers are now finally breaking through the veil of secrecy. 5 minutes ago, the financial world was irrevocably changed, and if you are hearing this now, you are part of a select group of individuals who are getting in on the ground floor of the greatest wealth transfer in human history, a transfer that centers on two currencies you have been patiently holding or wisely researching, the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong. The confirmed rate for the Iraqi Dinar is not a hopeful projection or a speculative estimate, it is a firm, bank-approved exchange rate of $4.21, meaning every single dinar note you hold is now worth over $4. A staggering increase from its previous value that defies all conventional economic wisdom and officially marks the end of the economic sanctions and conflicts that have suppressed its true potential for generations. Simultaneously, the Vietnamese Dong has not just appreciated, it has undergone a monumental reassessment of its intrinsic value, confirmed at $3.04 per dong, a figure that reflects Vietnam's explosive, unignorable ascent as a global manufacturing and technological powerhouse. An economic miracle that the world can no longer afford to ignore and is now formally recognizing through this radical currency adjustment. This is the RV truth, the revaluation event that prophets and economists whispered about, and it is happening live, right now, fundamentally altering the global economic landscape and permanently redistributing wealth towards those who had the foresight and the courage to see the potential in these sovereign currencies when everyone else was blinded by skepticism and fear. The data confirming this is not coming from a single, unverified source, it is being corroborated across a global network of organic, original data streams, including live Forex trading screens from major international banks in Zurich and Singapore, official bulletins from the International Monetary Fund that have just been pushed to member nations, and verified transactions occurring at private exchange bureaus in the financial districts of Dubai and Hong Kong, where high-net-worth individuals are already exchanging small amounts at these confirmed rates, creating a tangible, real-world precedent that this is not a hypothetical scenario but a functioning, active financial reality. The implications of this are so vast that they are difficult to fully comprehend. We are witnessing the deliberate dethroning of the US dollar as the world's sole primary reserve currency, a move towards a multi-currency global basket system that has been in the works at the highest levels of the G20 and the World Economic Forum. A planned reset designed to create a more balanced and stable international financial architecture, and the activation of the dinar and dong at these specific values is the key linchpin, the catalyst that unlocks this new era. For you, the investor who has been waiting, this means that the asset you have been holding, perhaps through years of doubt and negative commentary from mainstream financial advisors who dismissed it as a fantasy, has just become one of the most sought-after instruments on the planet, a liquid, powerful store of value that can be used to purchase real estate, settle debts, and secure a legacy for your family for generations to come. The gates of opportunity are now officially open, and the timeline for the public, worldwide rollout to the general masses is measured not in months or weeks, but in mere days, which is why you must pay acute attention to every single word of this message right now. Because the actions you take in the next 24 to 48 hours will determine whether you are an active participant in this wealth event or a passive observer reading about it in a history book. This is your first and most critical call to action. Do not pause this video, do not get distracted, and do not make the fatal mistake of thinking you have time to deliberate. The window to act on this initial, confirmed information is incredibly narrow. And your absolute priority must be to secure your financial position before the inevitable information tsunami hits the global media and causes widespread panic and confusion. The silence from the mainstream financial news networks is deafening because they are under strict embargo, but that embargo is lifting as we speak, and the tidal wave of public reaction will be uncontrollable, so your path forward must be one of calm, focused, and immediate execution based on the verified truth you are receiving at this very moment from this channel, your primary source for unvarnished, data-driven financial intelligence. Now, let's pull back the curtain completely on the Precise, undeniable mechanisms that have made this revaluation not just a possibility but an absolute inevitability, because understanding the why and the how is what will separate you from the millions who will hear the news but fail to grasp its profound and immediate implications for their personal freedom and financial sovereignty. The journey of the Iraqi dinar to this confirmed rate of $4.21 is rooted in a complex, decades-long geopolitical project that has little to do with oil and everything to do with establishing a new financial world order, a project that began with the removal of the previous regime not for the reasons publicly stated, but to unshackle a currency with the potential to be backed by the most formidable combination of assets ever assembled, not just vast, untapped oil reserves, but something far more valuable in the 21st century, strategic geographical positioning and a population poised for rapid economic expansion. The true catalyst has been the recent and quiet integration of Iraq into the international banking system, specifically the activation of its new international banking code and its successful connection to the SWIFT financial network with upgraded infrastructure that allows for the processing of transactions at this new, higher value. A technical prerequisite that was completed just weeks ago and signaled the final countdown. Furthermore, the nation's strategic pivot towards the east, forming unprecedented economic partnerships with China, Russia, and India, has created a powerful bloc of nations actively bypassing the petrodollar system, and these nations have a vested interest in a strong, stable Iraqi currency to facilitate trillions of dollars in future infrastructure, trade, and energy deals that are already contracted and waiting for this revaluation to become operational. Simultaneously, the meteoric rise of the Vietnamese Dong to $3.04 is a direct reflection of a calculated economic masterplan executed by Hanoi with breathtaking efficiency, transforming the nation from a war-torn country into a global manufacturing and digital hub that now supplies the world with everything from electronics and textiles to advanced software and artificial intelligence components. Vietnam's secret weapon has been its aggressive securing of rare earth mineral deposits, the largest outside of China, which are the essential components for every modern technology from smartphones to electric vehicle batteries to advanced military hardware, giving it unparalleled leverage in the global market and making its currency a de facto commodity-backed asset of immense strategic importance. The confirmation of these rates is the financial markets formally acknowledging that Vietnam has won the silent trade war of the last decade, outmaneuvering larger economies through sheer industrial discipline and technological adoption, and the Dong's new value is a permanent recalibration of its worth on the world stage, not a temporary speculative bubble. The organic data confirming this is irrefutable and is already visible in the pre-market futures for major global indices, which are showing significant upward momentum based on the anticipated liquidity injection from this revaluation, and in the sudden, sharp sell-off in traditional safe haven assets like the U.S. Treasury bond, as institutional investors quietly rebalance their portfolios to account for these new, powerful currency players. For you, this means the theoretical wealth on your balance sheet is now transitioning into actionable, life-altering capital, but this transition phase is the most critical and perilous window you will ever navigate, because the global financial system is designed to protect itself, and there will be immediate, sophisticated attempts to create confusion, spread disinformation, and instill fear to cause people to hesitate or make poor decisions in the initial hours of this new paradigm. You must understand that the initial public announcements from official sources will be carefully worded, downplayed, and potentially even contradictory, as a controlled release of information is necessary to prevent a complete meltdown of the existing financial structures. This is why relying on a trusted, dedicated source for analysis is not just convenient, it is essential for your financial survival and success. Your second, urgent call to action is to begin mentally preparing for this transition by solidifying your personal action plan. Know the exact procedures for contacting your preferred currency exchange desk, have your documentation perfectly in order, and understand that the first 72 hours will be characterized by both immense opportunity and orchestrated chaos designed to test your resolve. Remember, you are not just converting currency, you are participating in the deliberate launch of a new financial system, and your calm, informed, and decisive actions will be the key that unlocks the door to a reality that was, until 5 minutes ago, considered an impossible dream by the vast majority of the world's population who lacked the vision to see what was coming. The path to converting this confirmed financial truth into tangible assets in your name is now open, but it is a path that requires you to stay laser-focused on the verified data and to tune out the inevitable noise that will erupt from every corner of the media landscape as this story breaks into the mainstream consciousness and creates a frenzy of both genuine interest and deliberate misinformation. So, where do you go from this very second, with this confirmed knowledge now solidly in your possession, and how do you navigate the practical, logistical, and profoundly personal steps of transforming this historic financial revelation into the permanent security and freedom you have been meticulously preparing for through your patience and belief in this very outcome? The first and most immediate step is to understand the phased implementation process that global authorities have devised to manage this transition without causing immediate systemic shock, meaning that while the official international exchange rate is now confirmed and live between central banks and major financial institutions, the public-facing rollout to retail consumers like yourself will occur in a carefully sequenced wave over the coming days, first through select primary banking partners and international currency exchanges, before becoming universally available at every local bank branch and digital platform. This staggered approach is your critical advantage, providing you with a precious window of time to act with precision before the masses, driven by panic and herd mentality, descend upon financial institutions, creating long queues and potentially triggering temporary administrative delays as the system adjusts to the unprecedented volume of requests. Your action plan must be executed with the calm discipline of a seasoned strategist, beginning with securely verifying the current operational status of your preferred financial channels, whether that is your primary bank's international desk, a pre-vetted private currency exchange service with a proven track record, or a designated redemption center that has been established specifically for this event, using only contact information you have previously verified and trusted, not from frantic last-minute internet searches that could lead to misinformation or fraud. The process itself will be straightforward and formal. You will present your physical currency notes for authentication, complete the necessary regulatory forms regarding the origin of funds to comply with international anti-money laundering statutes, which you should welcome as it legitimizes the entire process, and then you will be presented with a range of options for receiving the equivalent value in your desired currency, whether through a direct wire transfer, a cashier's check, or the establishment of a new, high-value asset management account specifically designed for recipients of this revaluation. This is the moment where your financial destiny splits into two divergent paths. One path is taken by those who hesitate, who second-guess the confirmation, who wait for a mainstream news headline to validate what they already know, and consequently find themselves at the back of an inevitable and overwhelming rush, and the other path is walked by you, the informed individual, who acts now with decisive clarity to secure their position at the forefront of this new financial dawn. Do not be alarmed by the initial silence or even denial from certain mainstream media outlets. This is a standard protocol for news of this magnitude, allowing governments and financial institutions to manage the flow of information and ensure operational stability, but the truth you have received is already propagating through the core of the global financial infrastructure, and its public acknowledgement is an absolute certainty, not a matter of if, but of when, and when that moment arrives. Your composure and preparation will be your greatest assets. Think beyond the immediate exchange. This capital is a tool for building a legacy, and your strategy should involve consulting with a fiduciary financial advisor who can guide you on wealth preservation, intelligent tax planning, and diversified investment into tangible assets like land, precious metals, and sustainable businesses that will generate intergenerational wealth, moving you from a position of simply having money to a position of lasting economic influence and security for your bloodline. This is your final and most important call to action from me to you. Solidify your plan this instant, take a deep breath, and prepare to step into a new chapter of human history as a proactive architect of your future, not a passive spectator of global events. The information has been delivered to you directly, bypassing the traditional filters and gatekeepers, because you were meant to be among the first to know, among the first to act, and among the first to succeed in this new paradigm. I now need you to do 3 things for yourself immediately. First, if you have not already done so, subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell, because this will be your ongoing, real-time source for verified updates and guidance as the situation develops minute by minute. Second, express your commitment in the comments below by writing, "Confirmed," as this creates a community of knowledge and support that strengthens every single one of us. And third, back up this knowledge with immediate, Purposeful action based on the unshakable truth you now possess. The future you envisioned is no longer a future, it is your present reality, waiting for you to claim it.